Okay.
Yeah.
We are live. And Dillard's in there. First and best. Oh my God, man. I didn't realize that the lag between the time that we start and the time is like 10 seconds. So we've been sitting here for 10 seconds just like, what's up, man? Let me see here. Yep. There's the stream link there. Hang on a second. Let me pull it up here again for anybody that wants to jump in here. We're actually trying StreamYards out today. But Frank is actually going to be stopping and joining us here in a little bit. First and best, also most charming and handsome, and also best hair. Nobody's sitting on this panel right now has any hair. So that's like, you could have two like coming out of the middle of your forehead and you would have the best hair. You would win. Yeah. But anyway, well, welcome to Nerd Culture Clash as usual, everybody that's going to watch this now and later. Where we just talk about some of the news that's going on in this nerdy world that we live in, man. And I just completely took a shit on that intro. I've been sick, man. Oh my God. The last 4 or 5 days, I've just been half dead. And I worked over the entire holiday. But as the thing said, we're going to talk about the Steam sale. Steam actually just had their Black Friday sale, and they're about to in 2 weeks, I believe they're going to have their winter/Christmas sale. I'm gonna go over some of the stuff that I bought because it's a sickness, and I just I've got, oh my God, dude, I've got so many freaking games that I bought, and they're just sitting there. I've probably got 100 games sitting on Steam, but you look at it like, ooh, $4.
Money
but
well spent.
Also look, what's that?
Said money well spent.
Yeah, money well spent that it hasn't been touched yet. And I'm going to go over the last week's pull list. I actually didn't realize it until today, but I didn't get that much last week. So hopefully we get something more this week, but last week wasn't a whole lot. And then, of course, I'm going to talk about some Star Wars because I had some Star Wars news come out, and holy crap. The closer we get, sorry about that. The closer we get to this thing, the more I'm just like, oh my God. But we're going to talk about that. But as always, I am your host, Comic Book Bob, and I am joined, as always, by what is Steam? It's like, what is Steam? Hors d'oeuvres. I'm joined by Tom the Immortal One Cummings, and I'll be putting the link in here just a second. I'm new to StreamYard, so I got to find out where everything is.
Oh, and just so you know, Rob.
Yeah.
None of the chat is showing up on my screen. So.
On your screen, yeah. Do you have go up on the right hand side? You see a thing that says comments.
Live comments.
Yep. Click that.
Oh, okay.
Hey.
It was just set to private, so there they are. Yeah. Hi, Dylan.
All right. Well, God damn it. There we go. There's the link if anybody wants to come in. But yeah. So you heard you heard me bitching about my week. How was your week, man?
Mine was pretty good. I played a lot of Skyrim. Still trying to get my.
Are you still playing that?
Yep. Third playthrough. My goal is to get every perk.
The third time.
Yeah.
This is the third. My God, dude! I don't use the same bathroom 3 times. Good Lord. I couldn't play. That game is so long. How you play through that thing 3 times? I mean, one time I'd be like, yeah, cool, awesome. And I'm like, when it comes to like games like that, I'm a completionist, so I always want to, I want to do the whole game. But
the first time
I ain't gonna play it 3 times.
Yeah, the first was only a half. I got like halfway through, and I'm like, okay, I know what I'm doing now. I'm going to restart. And
one day you will be the mighty hero.
Yeah, I just set goals for myself in this one. One of them was 1,000,000 gold, which I already got that. Another one was to get the
Steal all the corn.
I'm going to get every perk there is. So,
do you remember? God, who was it? Was it Tom? No, it was Dave. Dave talked about how like he would steal everything. He would steal all. He's like, I have all the corn. He would like because they have those barrels that you can just dump stuff in. He would have have a barrel just full of nothing but corn. you know our friends. That's kind of dumb stuff we used to do. But
game's fun.
Yeah, give me a second. Let me open up my Steam, and I can show you all the stuff I bought.
Or you'll find new gaming things.
Oh my god, dude! I downloaded so much crap, so many freaking games. Let me see here. No, stop it. There we go. Okay. Let me see if I can share the screen here. Nope, that's not how you do it. There we go. There's share screen. Application window, Steam. There we go. Share that. Okay. So,
7 Days to Die.
Yeah. So if you look over here, you'll see it says 162 games, 99 of which are not listed in your view filter. So there's more than this. There's actually more than that. But yeah, man, I was like, I gotta have it. So anyway, but like I said, if anybody that's new to Steam and they've never seen Steam, they don't know what Steam is. I don't know how you don't know what Steam is, but you've never seen it. About 4 or 5 times a year they'll do a sale, and it's a pretty big deal kind of sale, man. They will. I'm gonna get my phone away from my microphone so it stops doing that buzzing crap that everybody hates. Power it off, as a matter of fact. And the deals they do at the end of the year are always better than. I mean, they're always some good stuff there. I miss when Bob used to play 7 Days. I'm actually, dude. I just did a 7 Days video. Well, about 2 weeks now. I plan to get back to doing it, man. Stuff just keeps getting in the way. Life does not have any respect for your schedule. But the deal at the end, like the Black Friday deal, and then the Christmas deal is the big one. The Christmas deal is like you get games for like pennies on the dollar. So there's a couple of them that I wanted to pick up. Like I was gonna buy. Is the game? I don't know if the sale's still going on right now. Nope, it's not. Okay, so on the I believe it's the 19th. The winter sale starts. But I was gonna buy Resident Evil 2 because it was the Resident Evil 2 remake because it was only $20. It was like 1970. It's like 1965, and I was like, holy crap, that's pretty good for a game that literally came out like 2 months ago. And I'm a huge survival horror fan, but I'm like, I'm gonna wait. Let me wait till the winter sale because the winter sale is usually better. You know, maybe a couple of dollars more will be knocked off of it, and at the very least, they'll probably be up for the same price. So, but yeah, man, like I got some games. Like I bought this game Bastion here. It's kind of cool looking. It's a cool looking game. It's kind of like a more like a cutesier version of Diablo. I know it's like an anime version of Diablo.
Yeah.
But it's that same top down topographical third person kind of play.
Like Baldur's Gate.
Yeah, but it was like $3. And it was really highly rated, and I was like, oh, okay, I'll grab that. I grabbed Cold Fear, which is another survival horror game. It's kind of in the same vein as Resident Evil. You're gonna see. You're probably gonna see a bit of a pattern here as far as the kind of games that I play.
I was thinking of going to ask you, so how was it? Did you play it yet? But I know better than to ask that.
I touched on it. Like I literally played it for like 5 minutes. Like every one of them that I had, I played them for like 5 minutes just to see, like, hey, how does it play? What's it look like? But yeah, I haven't really got into them yet. I plan to though. This one I've been wanting to get for a while, man. Disgaea, the PC version. I really like those anime tactics games, kind of like Final Fantasy Tactics, Tactics Ogre, whatnot. Disgaea was a big one, and if you've never played Disgaea, the gameplay is cool as hell, man. Let me mute this so they don't get a thing, but I can't tell. Let's see, full screen. Yeah, here we go. It's got the kind of that chibi look kind of thing, but you have like all these different classes, and then like there's different elevation levels and whatnot. To the
that's a good dialogue there on the zombie.
Yeah. Actually, it would have been funnier if it was like, dreadfully sorry, but I'm here to eat you. Something like that.
You've got some brains.
Yeah, but I picked this up. This was like $5. It's like $4 or $5. So I'm like, yeah, I want games, but I'm cheap. What else did I buy? I bought a bunch. Obscure and Obscure 2, which is again, two Resident Evil type games, old school Resident Evil type games. The thing about Obscure is Obscure was done. It was almost like it was done kind of tongue in cheek, where it is a horror survival game, but the characters in it, they act and they talk like people in horror movies. So they make really bad decisions, and they're like, oh, I'm gonna go in. Let's go into this locker room and have sex. It's like, oh my god. So, but the Obscure 2, I picked those up. Those were like $1.50 a piece. And Path of Exile, which was free, but I went ahead and I downloaded that. That's kind of a Diablo-esque type game. And let's see here. I'm trying to skip back and forth where I'm watching it, checking out what everybody's saying. See, hide that. So I got Path of Exile. Picked up, what was that? Torchlight 2, which is again, it's another more of a cartoony version of like a Diablo-esque type game. Very highly rated. Again, it was only like $3. Franbo. This one I'm really interested in. This is more of a like a story game.
Okay.
And it's let's see if I can find a good lord, man, what's going on with the content? That nothing's loading. People are making me look bad. Let me go to the store page. Maybe you can get the video to load there. Yes. Why does it keep saying January? That's not the view page. All right. And let's get that to blow up. Okay, that's a nice logo. So it's got kind of like that side scroller kind of look, gameplay type of thing.
Okay.
And see right here, this is like the actual gameplay graphics right here. So you've got this kind of almost like a cardboard cutout for the characters, and it's a dark game, dude. Like if you're looking at these graphics, yeah, it's seriously dark. Like the whole thing is like something is like, is this really happening? Is it in her mind? Is she going crazy? Is there really some kind of dark, sinister force that's doing this? But it's a very, very story-driven game, and I was like, I've watched other people play it a little bit, and I'm like, yeah, this looks really cool. I could see doing a couple of videos like playing this. But yeah, and this was like, again, like $6. So And that's the thing, man. If you're gonna buy games, especially Steam games, if you're getting close to one of those dates, and you can actually go online and just look up what are the dates for when they do these sales, that's when you should buy them. Because let's see, let me jump over here to my wish list. Yeah, so like BioShock here, normally it's $29.99. During the sale, it was like $7. So you're talking, 60, 70, 80% off. Dead Space was like $5. Normally $19.99.
Eagle 43 wants to know if you got any detective games.
Any detective games? Not really. Hang on a minute. Let me got the Hollywood Frank here. There he is. What's up, brother? Can't hear you, bro. I think your mic's muted.
How we doing, guys?
Very
good, man. Actually, going over the stuff that I picked up during Steam, the last Steam sale. Did you pick up anything?
I did not. You told me they have a really good one for Christmas, so I'm waiting until then.
Yeah, Dilladraw says that Edith Finch mystery game looks pretty cool. Yeah, I've actually seen a couple people play it. It is like, it's one of those things where it's like, what the hell, man? But yeah, it looks really cool. I haven't picked up any detective games of late. I think the last one I picked up was Soul Suspect. It's called Murdered Soul Suspect. And it's basically you're an actual detective, and you're murdered, and you're basically solving your own murder.
Nice.
And along the way, there's a supernatural element to it and everything. But actually, speaking of games, Frank.
Yes.
You just got yourself a pimp new ride, man.
I did. I got myself a new Asus.
Yeah, get it right.
Sorry.
Yeah. 7 days, every 7 days. Yeah, 7 days to die. I really got to get back into playing that. And now that Frank has got himself a pimp PC, he can actually join in with me on that. That's one of the things I've been trying to do is get people into the multiplayer aspect of that game, because that's when 7 Days to Die, in my opinion, really opens up as a game, because you can have up to 18 people at the same time. And one of the cool things is I always thought it was not like getting two teams together, because you can actually flag if people are like, as long as the people on your friends list, there's no friendly fire. But if they're not in your friends list, you could shoot each other. So you can have two teams of 9 going up against each other. So you're not only fighting the zombies and everything, you're fighting each other. So that could be pretty cool. Booster Kiwis. Booster? What the hell, man? Booster's like, what are you nerds playing? We were playing. I play a lot of dumb crap, man. Like mostly right now, I'm playing mostly Baldur's Gate. I'm going back through those old games. They ignore me until I talk about games. That's how it works. Yeah, like I said, I'm gonna get back into 7 Days to Die. And like I said, it's like playing Walking Dead. That's actually kind of like how 7 Days to Die is when you're doing multiplayer. Did you play Divinity Original Sin 2? No, I have. That's actually one of the games that I'm probably going to pick up the next sale, because and I think I'm pretty sure it's on my list. Like this is my list of games that I want to pick up, and I'm pretty sure Divinity. Well, there's Sacred 2. Sacred 2 is a lot like that as well. Where's Divinity? I think Divinity's in here. Baldur's Gate 2. I'm gonna pick that up. Divinity. Maybe it's not on there. It should be on here. It may have been on here at one time, and then there it is. Divinity Original Sin. I got to put 2 on there as well. I got the enhanced version on there. Dead by Daylight. I'm gonna pick that one up as well. That's another cool horror multiplayer game. But yeah, Divinity Original Sin. My buddy Jim used to play that. and that was a really cool looking one. But Styx, yeah, Styx. I've seen Styx before. That's the one. Styx is the one I think where you play the goblin guy. He's like a goblin rogue or something like that. I think that's the one. If I'm remembering it correctly. Walking Dead, people are worse than but yeah, like one of the things I've been wanting to do is get a gaming night together, just like one night a week, like on a Friday night or a Saturday night or something like that, just or even a Wednesday night or something. Just get everything together and just play one of these these multiplayer games that you can get a bunch of people into, like I said, like 7 Days to Die, Friday the 13th. I've got that. That's a fun game to play with a group of people, man. And I don't know. They know the funny thing about that is everybody likes being the counselors. Nobody likes being Jason. I'm like, I love being Jason. It's just that's the most fun, man. It's like you're literally unstoppable. You get to kill everybody in cool ways. I love being Jason, man. But that's a game. The idea I had behind that, what I thought would be cool, would be get a multiplayer game like that where you can get 6, 7, 8, 9 people, however many, and you have a core group of like 5 or 6 people, but you leave like 1 or 2 slots open. So if there's anybody that's like in the chat that wants to come in and play with you, they could come in and play with you. You build some kind of a rapport with the fan base and everything. So if I get enough people, so I've been trying to get people, interested in something like that. And if we ever get to the point where we get to enough people to do that, I still want to do that, because I'll tell you what, man, you get 9 people running around in a game of Friday the 13th. That's some pretty fun stuff right there. But yeah, and then like I said, what's that?
That could be fun.
DeWolf, yeah, a bunch of comic book nerds playing multiplayer games together. Yeah, that's pretty much it, man. That's
it in a nutshell.
Yep, and a light bulb would get changed. Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, no, the Steam sale this year was pretty cool. Like I said, you saw the games that I already bought. This is my wish list. My wish list has 133 games in it. The only thing that's keeping me from pulling the trigger on all of this stuff is that I made a kind of a deal with myself, and I said I will not buy any of this stuff unless it goes below $5. But the problem is that on these, especially the last 2 sales of the year, a lot of this stuff drops below $5. And then you're looking at it going, okay, there's 133 of them. If I bought all of them, that's like that's like a couple $100. So it's like, nope, it ain't happening, man.
Still got to pick and choose.
Yeah. But Frank, what are you going to pick up, brother, man? You got a fresh, brand new supercomputer to run on.
I do have a fresh new supercomputer. I got Baldur's Gate, the first one, so I like to pick up the Baldur's Gate 2. Mm-hmm. I have Friday the 13th. I haven't played it yet.
Dude, I'll have to reload it so we can jump on there and play some, man. It's fun. Especially with the coolest part of it is Jason, whatever, he has all these hot spots that you can do different kills on. So you grab somebody and you can just basic kill them, but you can also drag them over to something, and then he does a cinematic kill. Like my favorite is they have one of those old pump handle water pumps. He'll drag them over there, shove their face in there, and just crack.
Just use it like a nutcracker.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome, man.
But yeah, I'm definitely down for some multiplayer.
Yeah.
So if we can get a date and some guys together.
Oh yeah, dude.
Count me in. But
yeah, I would definitely suggest the games I play more than anything. I'll go back to my library here. Speaking of comic book nerds, anybody who's a fan of Joe Majura's Battle Chasers Night War was a really cool freaking game. If anybody who doesn't know Joe Majura or hasn't been in the comics for very long. Battle Chasers was a comic that came out when Image was kind of at the tail end of its heyday. And Joe Madureira was coming off. He was like a real popular X-Men artist coming off of it. And that book, the visual style of it and everything was just so freaking cool. Let me play the video here real quick and blow it up so you guys can see some of the gameplay for it. Come on. There we go. And we're... nope, go away. There we go. Come on. What is the deal with the internet today? But it's got like that. The cool thing about the art for the game. Oh, play. There we go. The cool thing for the art for the game is that it looks like it's right out of the comic. It's not going to let me play it here. That sucks. Anyway, but it's kind of like a throwback to those old side scroller RPGs. Like back in the day, like the original Final Fantasy 5 and 6 and 7. Where you have the turn-based combat. You got your guy. He's running around on a map, and he'll run into like the monsters, and then the fight will go off. And then you upgrade your equipment, and everything. That was the cool thing too, is that every time you would change like a piece of equipment on the character, the graphic for the character would change with it. But it was all like this. It's all 3D, but it looks like hand-drawn comic book art. It's really cool. Like if you're a big fan of Joe Mad's comic style, that game is beautiful, man. It's gorgeous. But he put that out. That's the only sad thing about it is that Joe Mad, he kind of left comics to become a game developer. Which, considering the state that comics is in, it's kind of hard to blame him for it. But
follow the money.
Yeah, but he's also the guy who created, and he's the lead designer for the what are those games called? The Darksiders games. So, but yeah, I would, like this is one I would recommend. It's actually pretty cheap too. I think normal price it's like $25. So on Steam sale you could probably get it for $5. Oh,
that's on your list.
I've already got it.
I already got it.
Yeah, dude,
if it's $5, it's on Rob's list.
Yeah, I already got it, man. Almost every game that I have here, I got for like $5. Like 7 Days to Die, when it goes on sale, it's normally like $29, something like that. It goes on sale for like $10. 7 Days to Die, I'd highly recommend that. Baldur's Gate, old school, man. Love that freaking game. That game is so much harder than I remember. Oh my god! About it? What's that?
What's so hard about it?
It's just the enemies. It's a lot more. Combat's a lot more dangerous and deadly than I remember it. like Frank was laughing at me the other day because there's a one quest line where you go to this mine, and you're going through the mine, and this thing is just chock full of kobolds and stuff.
Mm-hmm. You're chucking arrows and stuff at you. And...
yeah, which they're not that bad, but then you get down to like the third level of this thing. This mine is like 3 or 4 levels. You get down to the third level, and now you start running into traps. And my rogue, for some reason, just kept turning traps and secret doors. She just kept turning it off.
And run into the traps.
Too much esoteric video game talk. I'm gonna go take a dump. Tell me when Bob starts playing 7 Days. I can start playing 7 Days to Die in the background. So I kept running the traps, and my guys kept dying. So I had to pick up all their stuff, run all the way back out of the mine, run back to town. Pay 100 gold a pop to resurrect them.
Depends on their level.
Yeah, and as they go up in level, it goes up in price. So if you're above 3rd level, it's 200 gold. If you're above 5th level, it's 600 gold. So I kept running. I kept going down there. They'd run into a trap and die. I'd run back out. Just kept doing that over and over again. I was like, this is bullshit. But yeah. Anyway, we've talked. We've talked about I don't know, 20 minutes on friggin' video games. No, 30 minutes on video games.
Just on Steam.
Just on Steam. But yeah, so that's the stuff I picked up on Steam. I'm probably going to pick up a whole bunch more. Like I said, if you're a gamer, if you're looking for good games, hit me up. If you're looking for, but if you're going to buy anything off of Steam, man, I would definitely wait until, I believe it's the 19th. Did he say resurrect him? I'll tell you what, man. Sometimes I feel like that game's taking a dump on me. All right, let me see here. Steam sale.
Bathroom.
Oh, God. Dude, here comes the friggin' South Park joke. December 19th through January 2nd is when the winter Steam sale is. So, yeah, I would definitely pick the stuff up then. We're so close to it, man. Like right now, it's like it's not worth buying anything right now. Just wait a couple weeks and buy it for $5. Okay, moving on. This week's pull list. Actually, I was talking to Tom right before we went live here, and I didn't realize this, but I didn't really have that much in my pull list this week. Literally, I went there and picked up today because, well, for starters, for some reason, I forgot that today wasn't Wednesday. So I went there thinking, oh, I got to go pick my comics up for the week. It happens to you when you get old kids.
Yeah, it's tomorrow.
Yeah, it's tomorrow. But I went there to pick my stuff up, and I'm like, I only got one thing. It's like all I had was the Bloodshot #3 from last week. And I was like, oh, crap. That's going to make for a short video. But I did pick up some stuff last week. I don't know what you guys like. I'm sure Tom's probably got some stuff in his pull list and everything. But I actually picked up. What did I pick up last week? I picked up Avengers 27. Mostly, I'll be honest with you, man. I don't know what the hell's going on in the Avengers books right now. I honestly don't care. I picked it up because of Ed McGuinness's art. I'll do that sometimes. Like I'll be like, "Oh, look, this book is shit," but it's got great art.
It's pretty though.
It's pretty. But the last, what else did I get last week? I didn't get a whole lot of Marvel stuff. I don't get a whole lot of Marvel anymore anyway. I did pick up Absolute Carnage, the last Absolute Carnage. So I picked that up. I picked up Avengers 27. I think I have. Oh, I picked up Conan 2099, which sounds stupid. Actually didn't suck. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it was great.
But it didn't suck.
It didn't suck. Like I'm looking at this and like I pretty much picked it up because I figured this is going to be one of those books I'm going to roast the hell out of. Like the idea of Conan in the future. Sure. It's like, remember that movie Machete? And they had the fake trailer for Machete in Space, and it just looked like it's so bad. It was like, that's what I'm thinking in my head on like Conan 2099. It's like he's got like tinfoil bits on him. He's like crum. He's got a lightsaber. You know, it was actually an interesting story, and I think it's just a one shot. I don't know if they're gonna keep doing them or not. But I was like, as a one shot, I was like, all right, this is okay. Basically, Morgan Le Fay puts a curse on him. She comes to him. You know who Morgan Le Fay is. In Marvel Comics, Morgan Le Fay is like one of the most evil sorcerers in the comic book universe. She shows up every once in a while in the magic books and stuff like that. she this is like after Conan has become king, and she comes to him and she tries to she pretends she's like gonna give him a gift. She's like this. She's looks like this old crone. She's this is when her powers are at their lowest and their people are like coming after her and stuff. And she's thinking, I could use this guy as a pawn to protect myself. Well, because of recent storylines and everything where he's come into contact with like the Avengers and things like that, he knows about her. So he calls her out and she's like, well, then she curses it. And as he's going to kill her, she curses him. And she basically tells him that he will walk the earth until the sun burns it from underneath his feet. Which at first he's like, all right, works for me. But then he's like in the future and everything sucks. And so he's basically trying to he basically comes up with a way to get around this curse that she put on him. And it's actually pretty clever how he does it. I'm not a big fan of bringing a character like Conan into modern continuity. I'm not a big fan of that, even though I'm running a modern Dungeons and Dragons game. You just have to reconcile that yourselves. But
we're not playing specific characters. We're just
basically all that game I'm running is just a glorified dungeon crawl with guns.
Yeah,
it's a filler thing, but the way that they do it in this, other than the ending, I thought was actually pretty cool. Oh, by the way, to everybody that's here, I'm sorry, I'm still kind of drugged up from cold medicine and stuff, guys. Everybody that's here, thank you guys for being here. If you could, please hit like, subscribe, share this out, all that kind of thing. I'm so far behind everything right now.
No, he's not.
Dude, I like I was so frank. I worked almost 60 hours in the last 4 days. Yeah, and I was sick on top of it, so it sucked. But the way that he gets around this curse and everything, it's actually pretty cool. So if you've got a couple extra bucks to blow, maybe. I mean, it's not the kind of book where you're like, it's not like Sean Gordon Murphy's Curse of the White Knight. All right, it's not like you got to read this friggin' book. This book is amazing.
Not bad.
Yeah, you know what? This didn't suck. The other one, let's see, what else did I get? I got Avengers 27, which, like I said, I don't even know what's going on in that. I just got it because it had pretty art. I know X-Force number 2 came out. I haven't picked it up to read it yet. Yeah, that was pretty much it for Marvel, man. I don't like the only book that I really read religiously from Marvel anymore is Immortal Hulk. And the reason I'm reading that's because that thing is like they took that book like straight back into horror territory. It's like a pure friggin' horror book now. It reminds me of old school Swamp Thing. Back when Bernie Wrightson and what's his, my brain doesn't want to work. But yeah, when Bernie Wrightson was on that book, man, like that book was like a straight up horror book. That's what they're doing with the Hulk right now, and it's really, really good. DC, I think, I don't know why I keep doing this to myself, but I picked up Batman. Dude,
you're a lifetime subscriber. That's why you get it.
I'm so ready. I'm so ready for Tom King to be done. I really am. I mean, he's probably not a bad person. All right. But he has absolutely cut Batman's balls off. It's so bad. It's so bad. And then I saw a preview for 84, and I'm at the point now where like I don't even want to pick up 84. But they finally explained how the hell his dad survived the Flashpoint storyline, because for anybody who doesn't read Batman or doesn't care about DC, Batman's father, Thomas Wayne, is the main bad guy in this storyline, and it comes from where the New 52 storyline, Flashpoint, where Flashpoint Paradox, where in the Flashpoint Paradox world, Bruce Wayne died and his father became Batman, which was a really cool story. Flashpoint Paradox is actually a really cool story. At the end of that storyline, though, the Flash fixes the universe, and everybody in that other universe dies. Well, then there was a storyline in Batman, which was, again, it was a pretty good story. It was called The Button, and it's when they started alluded to the fact that Dr. Manhattan is the one who caused all of this weird stuff, the New 52 and everything. They find out that the Flashpoint universe isn't destroyed. It isn't dead. And Barry Allen, the Flash, and Bruce Wayne actually go to the Paradox universe, and Bruce meets his dad. His dad realizes, and his dad is like depressed that his son is actually Batman. You know, which understandably, you want your kid to be like a great philanthropist and a doctor or whatever. You don't want it to be some guy who's putting his life on the line. Yeah, and being happy. And I think that's the problem with the storyline that King's doing is you understand Thomas Wayne's motivation. It's just how it's going, how the story is unfolding, and how ineffectual and weak they make Batman himself out to be is just bad. But the big thing was everyone's like, how the hell did he even survive? You know, because literally at the end of that storyline, you see the universe imploding. Well, yeah, it's basically dying. Well, this next issue, they explain how it happens, and it's freaking stupid. Like, I'm not going to give away what it is because I don't want to give spoilers to anybody who's actually reading it. But if you're like me and you're not happy, like this storyline, you're not happy where it's going, this isn't going to make you feel any better. I can't wait for Tinian to come in and take over this book, man. I can't deal with Tom King's crap anymore. I really can't. But pretty art. Terrible story. This is one book where I can't get past the whole, at least it's got good art thing. Well, and then actually the last few issues, the art's been pretty crappy. Tony Daniels hasn't been doing the artwork on it. But yeah, I saw that and I'm like, what else did I pick up from? I think that's it. Oh no, that's actually still in my folder at the place though. I got the newest Tales from the Dark Multiverse, the Infinite Crisis one. I got that. I think that's it from DC that I got. So yeah, my pull list this week was not very, like, even last week's wasn't very big. I did pick up some back issues of some stuff. R.T. Bear, by the way, actually, let me drop a link to, well, actually, I don't need to do that. There's barely anybody in here. R.T. Bear, he's got an Indiegogo going on right now for Chrono Mechanics. And I was over there on his show and we were all watching Art talk, and the subject of some of the old guys from Image came up, and Marat Michaels came up, which I'm not really a big fan of Marat Michaels, but whatever. But then Jeff Matsuda came up as well. I remember Jeff, and I was like, I kind of like Jeff's art, so I actually went and I bought a couple of back issues of Brigade that he did. So, but hey, Tom, speaking of comics and stuff, imagine that. I think we're in the last 24 hours for the next trade for Punchline over on either Kickstarter or Indiegogo.
Oh.
So I'll have to, actually, let me check it out real quick.
I usually get it through Antarctic Press, so
yeah. I think I do think that the Indiegogo or Kickstarter, whichever one it is, I can't remember. I'm actually trying to find Indiegogo right now. Indiegogo, go Gadget.
I think Indiegogo is where they're doing the next brick for Gold Digger.
Oh, for Gold Digger?
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people I've seen, they're actually Punchline Blood Sisters it's the hardcover and trade paperback. I'll drop a link to it here in a second here. Oh, nope, it's over. It's done. Oh, that sucks. Yep, just finished. So you could have got a cool hardcover, man. Too bad.
Oh, well.
Oh, and a T-shirt.
That would have been nice.
Yeah, because we're big fans of Punchline over here.
Yeah,
Matthew Weldon's art. But
and good story too.
Yeah, it actually is pretty good. But so that kind of sucks, man. The pull list this week was not a big deal. There wasn't much, but I mean, like if you haven't been reading the Bloodshot, the new Bloodshot series that's got Brett Booth on the art, it's actually really cool. If you're into superhero books, and like Tom's not really into superhero books, other than unless there's something weird like Punchline.
Yeah.
But if you're big into Valiant and you're a fan of Bloodshot, the new Bloodshot book is actually pretty cool, and it doesn't hurt that it's got Brett Booth on it for art. Like I said, I just picked up issue 3 of that. That storyline's pretty cool. Frank, you've been reading anything?
Not really big into comics at this time. I just
go away.
Keep up with. Hey, I keep up with what you're talking about, man.
Goodbye.
Go. And he's back.
That's blasphemous talk around. That is blasphemous talk around here, sir. But and DeWolf actually just said, Gold Digger is on Indiegogo as well. So I'm actually gonna have to go over there and check that out. I haven't bought an Indiegogo book other than like I usually wait till they come out at the comic book store. I haven't actually backed one. I don't think ever. Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, dude, man, what the hell?
All right, I'll get on that.
You just wait for me to come and talk about everything. It's like I don't need this. It's like was it the grandfather from Lost Boys? It's like, you got a TV? No, you got a TV Guide. If you read the TV Guide, you don't need a TV. It's like I don't buy comics. I just come and listen to people talk about them. He did say 4 times. Yeah. But okay.
Hey, Tom,
what?
Did you see Jojo Rabbit yet?
I have not seen Jojo Rabbit
yet. Oh, for God's sake, man! Come on.
I was going to go last night to see Knives Out, but
I'm probably going to go see Knives Out on Monday.
I saw that Sunday.
Knives Out.
I did.
Was it good?
It was.
Yeah. You know what? I know we like to make fun of Rian Johnson because he is kind of a tool. But there are certain movies that certain directors are good at. And that movie, I feel like that's in his wheelhouse. You know what I mean? There's not a lot of like, it's just like when I was talking about the woman and the guy that wrote and directed Captain Marvel. The action is tough to do, man. It's a lot harder to do action well and make it fit a story. Mm-hmm. Rian Johnson didn't do a very good job of that with Last Jedi. We were actually busted on again on the fight scene in the Emperor's throne room, I call him the Emperor. We might as well be the Emperor.
Yeah.
Snoke's throne room. And I tell people, I always point them to that video. There's a video online where actual fight coordinators, like professional fight coordinators, break that scene down and they tear that scene to shreds. They're like, this is just bad. And the thing is the one guy actually says, like, I know the guy who worked on this movie. He's not like this is not his work. That is like all of the things that happen in there that suck happened because the director wanted it that way. Because in their mind, that worked. So that scene, when it's broken down, it's like when I went and saw it at the theater, that scene, like I couldn't figure out what it was. I was like, man, that scene kind of sucked. And I couldn't quite put my finger on it. I was like, it just felt bleh, it just felt bland and weak. but then this, like I said, I saw that video where that guy broke it down, and I was like, oh yeah, that explains everything. It's like he's talking about how the bad guys, like, they're literally like telegraphing everything for like 3 seconds before they can come in. He's like, and they're doing that because he said because the actor is moving too slow to catch up to the moves. And they're like this is just badly coordinated. He's like the camera's static and it's flat. There's no energy in this scene at all. So it's like they break the stuff down like that, and then they also break down other ones as well. And they're like, but the thing that really caught my attention was how the guy was like, these guys are professionals. They don't do this unless the director tells them to do it like that. So, but speaking of Star Wars,
yeah,
some interesting things came out today. A couple of days. Yeah, don't save that. Well, if I could get my thing to work right. Here we go. First off, what did you guys think about the last episode of The Mandalorian, the one that's got everybody up in arms?
What, Sanctuary?
Yeah, the one with Gina Carano.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it, so.
Up in arms about what?
Some people they feel like this was the weakest episode, and they were like, why is he getting his ass kicked by this chick? And I'm like, on one hand I'm going, okay, yeah, he's a Mandalorian, he's supposed to be a badass, but also I'm like, it's Gina freaking Carano. As a guy who follows MMA, I've seen Gina Carano fight. Gina Carano would kick my ass, right? Gina Carano was no joke, man. Like, she was everyone talks about Ronda Rousey, and now they talk about Mandy Nunes. But here's the thing: before all that, Gina Carano Gina Carano would beat the living crap out of Ronda Rousey. Let me tell you, in her prime, she would smoke Ronda Rousey. So. Yeah, man, I was like, I didn't mind that. Now, the other thing too, a lot of people were also talking about how there's nobody in the village could shoot worth a crap except for this one woman, and they never why is she so good at using a blaster? Like, she's like a freaking sniper. And in a normal, in a longer show, you would be like, okay, well, maybe they'll give some explanation or some backstory to why she's able to do that. This is a pretty short show. I mean, they're what, 40-minute episodes?
About that, 35, 40 minutes.
35, 40 minutes. Yeah, they're pretty short. So they don't have a whole lot of time to go into it. I didn't see anything all that particularly bad about it. I thought it was fine. I mean, from a storytelling point, it was probably the weakest episode so far. But I didn't particularly have an issue with it. What did you think, Frank?
I didn't have an issue with it, and anybody who's complaining about her shooting, like you said, there's no backstory. What if her husband was a sniper and taught her how to shoot?
Yeah, and there's a lot of possibility to it and everything. I think we're so jaded. I think at this point we're so jaded with Star Wars, the way Disney has handled Star Wars. I think that we're just like, sometimes we kind of look for things to get upset about.
Yeah, it could be.
But personally, I thought it was all right.
Not every episode is going to be all about Mandalorian and Baby Yoda and all that. It's, you've got to introduce other characters into the series.
Yeah.
And you still got what's his name? Esposito? I can't remember his name. That's still coming in the next episode or two.
Yeah. So, but then there was a couple interesting stories that came out about Star Wars, and we're going to talk more about Star Wars as the release date gets closer and closer. One of the things that, yeah, and a whole lot after it. Yep. One thing I did want to talk about. This is actually kind of a sad story here. Tom, you're gonna. Here we go. You'll know more about this than most people will, but Star Trek writer DC Fontana passes away at 80. So, DC Fontana, who's best known for her work on the Star Trek original series, she also wrote a whole bunch of novels. She was a writer for a bunch of the episodes of the animated series. She was, and like it says here, she was very specifically, she made a lot of contributions to Spock's backstory. And yeah, she's been one of the mainstays of Star Trek. She did a lot of stuff for the video games as well. But yeah, I actually didn't know about this until today. Until actually just a little bit ago. But yeah, that's sad. Well, I mean, it's the way of all flesh, man.
Yep.
But yeah, I saw that and I'm like, oh man, that sucks. But moving on from that, share the screen here. That's the one thing I got to do is get used to sharing the screens here. So, Rise of Skywalker test screens all over the place and confusing. New rumor about Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker test screening describes the film as all over the place and confusing. Okay, you don't need to repeat your. Okay, whoever wrote this article, you don't need to repeat your title. Okay.
But they almost always do.
The rumor comes from YouTuber Doomcock, who received the information from a source that he describes as having knowledge of the production. Then explains the narrative connection of events is threadbare. Things unfold because they have to, not because they logically should. The story seems to largely consist of multiple MacGuffin-style modular plots. Achievements moving from one planet set piece to the next. In other words, this thing is more like a video game than a story. Some of the things that I've heard is the reason why this is because of the reshoots.
Well, yeah, anytime you're doing reshoots of something, it's really hard to edit them. Well, depending on what you're reshooting, and if it's all plot-driven stuff, they're like, oh crap, we have to try to salvage the story by saving it, by shooting something new and sticking it in there.
Yeah, from what I understand, it's more them having to fix things because they're taking things out. Like a lot of the story revolved around like the Wayfinder and the Oracle and what are those? What's those devices that they're using in the movie, Frank? The devices that they're using to find. I can't remember what it's called. That's how confusing this whole thing has gotten. Is all these plot points and MacGuffins and stuff? They're just basically pulling them out and throwing them away. The Wayfinder, yeah, that's what it. Kylo, yeah. According to my source, Kylo stumbles across Emperor Palpatine fairly early in the cut. Kylo is looking for something called the Wayfinder. The Wayfinder, if we can ever call it that, seems to be some powerful MacGuffin that several characters are after. It's like a Sith holocron, but not red. It's a key to finding the Sith dagger that was used to kill Rey's parents. That has Sith runes on it that C-3PO has to get his memory wiped to decode. And once he does that, the Sith dagger conveniently will lead Rey to another planet. So that until she finds Palpatine. Blah 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 blah. From what I understand, a bunch of these MacGuffins and stuff have been removed from the movie because everybody thought they were stupid, and because they did that, some scenes feel disjointed and whatnot. Like now, like there was supposed to be an explanation for why the Emperor showed up Like, how is he still alive? And apparently now it's just JJ going. Basically, he's just like, because at one point Kylo's like, you died, this happened, that happened, what, blah blah blah, and the Emperor's like, and yet I'm here, and that's it. That's as far as it goes.
Mysterious.
I was frozen for 30 years. It's that kind of thing, and that's why JJ has a problem with like ending things. JJ Abrams has always had a problem with like sticking the landing. And like I was telling other people, man, I don't want this movie to fail. I don't get anything out of it failing. I don't feel good when movies fail that shouldn't fail. But so much of what we've heard about this is so bad. And actually, there was actually a clip that was released where he actually went on a talk show, and he said, "Yeah, the movie's done. It's just done." And I think it was on like Jimmy Fallon or something like that. And he's like, "You just got it done." He's like, the movie comes out in like 2 weeks, in like 3 weeks. He's like, "Yeah, we don't have to say it like that." But it's when you have reshoots that long and all the way up to like literally a couple of weeks before the movie comes out, and you got to finish editing it, you got to get all the prints made, you got to get those things shipped out, which, I mean, nowadays making a print is not that bad. You're just putting it on a friggin' jump drive, it's all digital. But and then he denied, and then there was JJ Abrams was denying that denied that all of the screenings and everything happened and whatnot. And then someone very, very accurately pointed out, well, he also denied all the stuff about Khan in Star Trek Into Darkness. And then turned around and he went, yeah, I lied. So it's like, your track record's not great, man. I don't know how much of this stuff that we're hearing about this movie is real. I don't know how much of it is not real. But I gotta say, man, I don't have a whole lot of hope for this movie.
Yeah, it's not sounding good. And like you were just talking about, that whole Wayfarer, whatever finding thing you were just talking about. What kind of plot is that? I mean, now, if it's going to be a plot for like the entire movie, or it's revolving around that, then have it do that. But it sounds like they're just putting all these little things in there, like you said, the whole like MacGuffin video game chase thing. Yeah, that pretty much doesn't work for movies. I mean, if you're going to do a TV series, that could be your arc for the second half of a season, and you introduce it and you take it along and then you finish it up. But like in a movie, it's either something like that either has to be your main goal, in which case you can't edit out of the movie, or you don't do it.
Yeah. And it's the whole idea. The thing that I've never understood about this is the whole idea behind reshoots is you're supposed to fix things, not break them and make them worse. I don't understand.
And also from the sound of it, if you're taking that out of the movie, you're like, okay, we just lost 40 minutes. We got to fill it with something.
Right. Exactly. It's like, rather than breaking your movie, just accept the fact that you've made it a little too intricate and find some way to explain it better.
Add another 10 minutes on if you have to.
Yeah, something. But yeah, like they're saying, like, because they've tried to. I think the problem is that they're trying to appease fans who are not happy. They're trying to appease the studio who wants certain things. That's actually something that I didn't realize it happens a lot. We forget that happens. That sometimes the studio comes and tells people you have to do X, Y, and Z.
This has to be in your movie because we already ordered 2 million of them, and they're in the warehouse. We got to sell these.
Yeah, or just like some producers just like, yeah, I got a bug up my ass about X, Y, or Z. I want this in the movie.
Giant mechanical spiders.
Yeah, giant spiders are the most dangerous animal in the killers in the animal kingdom. God, that was such a stupid story. Because actually, was it Sean Gordon Murphy was actually talking about he's doing his current series, the Curse of the White Knight, and he's doing these side books, and one of them was Mr. Freeze. Well, the entire story was supposed to be just Mr. Freeze and nothing but Mr. Freeze, but DC told him you've got to put Batman in there somewhere. So he had to rewrite his story a little bit and try to find a place where Batman would fit, and he did the best he could. It felt a little weird,
a little forced.
Yeah, a little. Yeah, it was just like, why is Batman in this scene? But somebody asked me, he's like, yeah, it just felt kind of weird. And he goes, yeah, he's like, they made me do that. So we forget sometimes that it's the studio, not the director, who's kind of mucking things up. But I thought that was interesting. DeWolf said, got a comment here. He said, they lie. Trailers are no longer trailers. Yeah, I'll tell you something else, man. That's something, what was it? I think it was it Art? Was it Art T. Bear or was it Dan Fraga? I was actually, by the way, I was on Dan Fraga's stream last night. That was a freaking blast, man. I had so much fun on there. I felt because the cold, whatever I've got, this chest cold that I got, if I get up and I'm moving around, I feel better. So by that time that night, I actually felt better. And then I was like, oh, and then he put his thing on. He's like, yeah, anybody could come in. I was like, okay, I'll come vomit off at the mouth for about 2 hours. But one of the subjects that came up was the fact that, like DeWolf was saying about trailers being very deceptive. Comic book covers are super deceptive now. Like, you'll see something on the comic book cover that it has nothing to do with the story at all. And one of the things that they used to do is the cover would actually depict something that would depict what was actually going on in the book. It might not exactly look like that, but usually it used to be the cover would show like, someone standing over Captain America and that saying is like, I've beaten you and now I will take your life, or something like that. And it's basically, that there's going to be some fight between this guy and this guy where he's potentially going to kill this character, Captain America or whatever. They don't do that anymore. Like a good example, they actually put this up was the last issue of Excalibur, the new Excalibur series. And Rogue, they have it's like a team picture kind of thing, and the character Rogue is there. She's literally unconscious the entire issue. It looks like she's ready to fight and everything in the cover. She's literally unconscious. She's in a coma, like sleep, the entire issue, and like that is so deceptive. So yeah, I agree, man. Trailers today, very rarely does the trailer actually reflect what's going on in the movie, and I think sometimes that's the reason why some movies fail, because the trailer
that you saw in the trailer. You go to see the movie you saw in the trailer. You're like, hey, this looks good. And then you go and you see it and you're like, that is not what I was sold.
Yeah, a good example of that would be Crimson Peak. The Guillermo del Toro's movie Crimson Peak. They marketed that movie like it was a straight up horror film. And it wasn't. It was basically a gothic romance. It was the character in the movie, I can't remember her name now, but she's writing a book and she's like, no, it's a romance novel with a ghost in it. That's literally what that movie is. It's a romance novel. It's a dark gothic romance novel with some ghosts in it. But they marketed it like it was a freaking horror film. So people who went there to see that movie were like, this is a piece of crap. This movie sucks. Whereas if they had marketed it as a gothic, like a Jane Eyre type gothic, gothic horror, gothic romance, it would have done better. but they were trying to be deceptive, and they were trying to snag a certain demographic. DeWolf said the cover should highlight the storytelling. The story is so bad that the covers can't connect. Yeah, that's actually someone has a lot of professionals. Like I said, Dan Fraga was talking about it. A couple other people on his channel. I think Art was there when he was talking about it as well. They put out that there's a lot of people that complain, like, this book is not what it says it is. You're deceiving me. You're passing this off as something that it's not. It's kind of like somebody made a sports analogy to it. They said it's kind of like when you go to see a Lakers game and Kobe Bryant was sitting the game. Or like what happened? Like what was it recently? It was a Durant. Was it Kevin Durant that sat out for an entire series of games? Frank?
Kawhi Leonard.
Kawhi Leonard, yeah. Kawhi Leonard basically sat out and like a 2-game series. And people pay money for those tickets. They go there to see the superstars. They want to see these guys. They want what's being advertised. And then you go there and you're like, nope. And some people they were legitimately upset. They're like, we paid hundreds of dollars for these tickets, and you're telling me that the best player on your team is not going to play, not because he's hurt or anything, but because he just doesn't want to. He doesn't want to get tired. So
what they're doing at that point usually is resting them for the playoffs. They'll do that a lot. Like once your team is in. I still think that's kind of messed up. It's still messed up because
I can understand that better,
yeah.
But this is at the beginning of the season. This just happened. And they're not resting him because he's hurt. They're not resting him because they're trying to get into the playoffs. They want to save him for the playoffs. They're resting him because he doesn't want to strain himself and doesn't want to play. That's horse crap.
I should do that at work.
Yeah, it's like yeah, I will come into work today. I kind of pulled my hammy a little bit. It's stupid, man.
But as as a fan, especially since people, and it certainly seems to be pushed a lot more of the whole this is the superstar, come see the superstar.
Mm-hmm.
It's less of, it seems to be a lot, I don't want to say a lot, but it's not as much about going to see your team play. I want to see that guy play, especially in basketball where there's only 6 guys on the court at a time. Other sports, there's a lot more people out there, but basketball is really kind of a superstar orientated sport. You said you got fewer guys out there, so your eyes on them all the time. And with the price of tickets, and I'm going to see either my team or I'm going to go because the other team's coming to town and I'm a fan of that guy and I just paid a couple $100 for tickets and he's either on the bench or didn't even come. Yeah, I'd be pissed. I mean, yeah. The least you can do is like go, yeah, he won't be participating in this series. Then I can go, okay, I'll buy tickets the next time they're in town or the next time, I can go see him because I want to go see that person play. And if that's not what you're going to get, yeah, be pissed.
Yeah, but yeah, getting back to like the comics and stuff like that, I can understand people like looking at a comic book cover and being like, "Hey, where's my oh, cool, I love this character. Let me pick up this book," and then they open the book and like, this character's nowhere in here.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, so one last thing here, guys, before we end the show here because we are at 1 hour 15 minutes there. The Black Widow trailer dropped.
Yeah, saw that.
I did not see that.
Well, you're in luck because we're going to look at it right now.
All
Give me 1 second here. Let me get this thing shared out.
Come on, right now.
Shut your pie hole. New software. Who dis? Okay. And there we go. All right. I'm just gonna say right now, this movie should have been coming out. This movie should have been out way before Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to stop one thing right there. What the hell did they do to my boy Taskmaster? This looks like a bad Power Ranger. Seriously, look at this. Look at that. Look at the colors. It's so stupid. This is the one thing about this trailer that makes me unhappy. Seriously. Anyway.
Alrighty.
I think it looks cool.
I saw a different trailer earlier, but
yeah, I think there's a one that's a slightly different one. But god dang it, man, why? Okay, where is he? Where is it? Okay, like. Hey, look, there's a new action figure. Yeah, let me find the Taskmaster here.
You're going the wrong way.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's the wrong way, dude. There he is. Okay, this is not Taskmaster. Okay, that is not Taskmaster. Taskmaster looks awesome. Let me get you a good picture of what Taskmaster looks like. And the thing that gets me is they've actually done like this picture right here. Hang on a second. Open image. Here we go. And let me stop sharing this screen and then start sharing this screen. There. Okay, that's Taskmaster. Okay.
Yeah, he does not look like a Power Ranger.
Yeah, this is Taskmaster. Okay, this is one of my favorite villains of all time. That they even added his I don't like the color scheme, but they put the color scheme here, you know, the orange and the blue like that. I'm not a fan of that, but even this looks infinitely better than that. That looks like a dude wearing a glorified motorcycle helmet. Okay, I've seen better masks made in cosplay than that thing in that trailer. So and here's the thing, they could fix that. All right, we've already seen like the whole Sonic thing that happened where they completely changed.
Yeah,
this would be much easier to do. You could digitally alter that to the point where it looks more like this. Okay. I like that they're using Taskmaster. I mean, he's a character that I think they should have used a long time ago. But yeah, that thing in that trailer was not Taskmaster. And yes, I am nitpicking. I am a freaking comic book fanboy. It's what I do. I got the neck beard and everything. All right. So, but overall, I thought the trailer looked cool. I mean, am I expecting it to be some kind of acting tour de force? No. It's Marvel. Yeah, exactly. It's Marvel. It's going to be what it's going to be. It's going to hit all those Marvel beats. I'm glad that she's finally getting her movie. Like I said, she should have gotten it a long time ago. I think if this movie had come out like 3 or 4 years ago, like it should have, the Captain Marvel movie probably would have been better. We probably would have gotten a lot more, would have been more interesting. But yeah, so Metal says, is there even a hero character in the film that could even beat Taskmaster if they were doing the character right? Yeah, Taskmaster's been beaten by a lot of people. The thing about Taskmaster, you got to remember, is his power lets him mimic the moves, the fight styles, and everything of other people, which makes him super dangerous. But like against somebody like the Hulk, or or even like Wolverine would tear the Taskmaster up. It would be a really good,
just straight up.
Yeah, it would. Yeah, because basically what would happen is Wolverine would let him hit him, like he'd let him stab him, and then he would just stab him back. You know, it's like Taskmaster's like I've actually seen comics where Taskmaster's fought people like Wolverine before and won. So if you're talking street level guys, see Jason Tershek's like, I see you smiling, Tom. What's up, Tersh?
Those guys still making movies? Apparently they are.
Yeah.
They've got a list coming up.
They're making movies and TV shows, apparently. They canceled a bunch of stuff, though. But yeah, I saw this trailer. I overall, I liked it. I think David Harbour as the Russian version of Captain America, which is escaping my brain right now. But I think that looks kind of cool. I mean, I get the bad feeling that they're going to kind of try to go to the young blonde Yelena, the other Black Widow from the comics. I get the feeling they're going to try to go to her for the future. Red Guardian, thanks, Metal. Yeah, my brain didn't want to work. I get the feeling they're going to replace Scarlett Johansson with her. Which I get it. I mean, nobody lasts forever, you know. And to be honest, I think the Marvel movies are going to start going downhill pretty hard after this next batch. But yeah, I'll go see it. I mean, I don't think it looks like it's terrible. I mean, it looks like they're kind of doing a little bit of the Red Room storyline, which is what I said that they should have done for it. Hopefully, it's not going to be a bunch of woke crap.
And it looks like it could be flashbacks too. So
yeah, and it does look like there's going to be a lot of flashback stuff going on in it. But yeah, I mean, I hope. And again, this movie's got a while before it comes out. Magic from the New Mutants. The New Mutants movie, dude. That movie got shelved hard.
I told you.
Well, they kept saying they were going to release it. They kept saying, we're gonna show it. We're going to release it. Let me double check because I think it might still even be on
their release. Maybe.
Yeah, it still might even be on the release schedule for next year. But yeah, they just kept changing it and kept changing it. Oh God, Birds of Prey looks so bad. Call the Wild, March, Mulan, April. Yeah, it's set for April 2020. Whether or not it actually comes out, I don't know. Might. Why did they go horror? Because actually, them going horror with the first New Mutants story is actually a good thing. Because the first New Mutants story was a horror story. It was the Demon Bear story. Which was a straight up horror story. So I don't know if that's what they're gonna do with this movie. But if they do the Demon Bear storyline, I think that could be pretty cool. Now I don't have a lot of faith in them doing it right. Demon Bear, help me out here. Okay. Basically, the Demon Bear is kind of connected to the character Danny Moonstone. They're basically they're in the characters, they're like in the danger room and everything. And they're kind of dealing with. I'm trying to remember. There was one of the team members that they thought was dead, and they were kind of there trying to deal with their loss and trying to get, because you gotta remember at this point they're just kids. The Demon Bear has been kind of stalking Daniel Moonstar for like the entire series at this point. And this is when it actually starts coming for her and everything. And at first she thought it was just like it's something imaginary. She thought it was just in her head, but then she finds out this thing's real, and it's like threatening it's going to kill her family. And basically, it ends up exactly what it is. It's like they're in this the snow. They're in the snow, and this thing's hunting her, and it's basically kicking the crap. It's killing her. And she's basically barely rescued by her friends. They find her. She's bleeding to death. I'm trying to remember everything about it, but it's basically think like what would happen if like a Native American horror story came to life, and you had these young superheroes that had to stop it. I think it was Bill Sienkiewicz, was it? I know Bill Sienkiewicz was the artist on this, on it back then. I'm not sure who it was that was writing it. I can't remember who it was that was writing it. And but it ends up like the Demon Bear is like it's like this entity that exists between worlds. It's almost kind of like a Freddy Krueger kind of thing. So, but no, it was an interesting storyline, and it was kind of like out of left field, and I think that's the reason why so many people liked it, because it was like you went from like normal superhero stuff to here's a horror story. So, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if that's what they're gonna do. It might be, it might not. I don't know. I do know that this thing has been plagued by reshoots and has been just absolutely crapped on by everyone and their mother. The people that have screened it, the original version of it, said that it was one of the worst things they'd ever seen. We're gonna find out in April, so
maybe.
Maybe. Well, at this point, like they're like, we'll just put it out on the theater and get whatever money we can out of it because Disney bought it. Disney bought Fox, and Fox are the ones who foot the bill for it and made it. So that at this point now, it's just free money.
Yeah.
So they might, they could also just toss the thing up on Disney Plus. I don't know if that's the kind of movie you want to put on Disney Plus. They could just put it up on Hulu or something. I don't know, but I mean, it's made, it's shot. Why not use it? Except the only reason I would say that they might not use it is because they don't want it to taint anything going forward with the X-Men, because they are going to start working them into the Marvel universe, or at least in some way, shape, or form.
And I think that's the reason why it will never get released.
Yeah, and that's very possible. That's very possible. Yeah, so I think this looks pretty cool. Unless you guys have anything, I think we are. I think that's about it.
Done for the night.
Anything? Nobody?
Nothing really. I got my. I'm going tomorrow night to get to pick up my comics. So next week.
Cool. I expect more from you, sir. Stop making me carry everything. I'm not that good at talking. I make too many mistakes. But okay, everybody, guys, appreciate you guys, everybody being here. We're gonna wrap it up there. As always, guys, we like your feedback. Give us some suggestions and everything. Hit like, subscribe, share this thing out. Jason, I'm sorry, man. It's been such a long time since I read that story. I really could not. I'm literally like flipping through my brain. I could not find everything about it. It's an interesting book, though. I would give it a look. But yeah, guys. As always, like I said, hit like, subscribe, share this out on your social media. It helps us, and YouTube is not doing a whole lot of helping for small content creators. More importantly, once this thing gets put up, leave a comment in the comment section. Tell us what you liked, what you didn't like. Give us any suggestions. Anything you guys want us to cover or anything like that, that would be cool as well. And also, I actually stopped doing it here for about like 2/3 of the show, but at the beginning and like usually through it, I'll drop the link in here for the StreamYards. And if you guys, anybody wants to come in and just talk and hang out with us, man, that's what we're here for. I always open this platform up to everybody. Only thing I ask is that just be respectful and come in and hang out with us. But until next week, I'm Bob.
I'm Tom.
I'm Frank.
Yep, that's right.
And that is it for us. We will see you guys next week. Take care, everybody.
See ya.
Oh, yeah, and check out the Wrestling Council this Thursday. It will be on my channel this week. So show up. Please, God, show up.
AEW in a month and a half.
For life. Take it easy, guys.
Bye.